Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. We begin with Syria, where the Syrian army marched into Al-Mayadeen city in the east, pushing an advance on Daesh terrorist group's main remaining base in the country. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the army, supported by Russian forces, had reached the western edge of Al-Mayadeen, entering the ruins of a castle and an area of grain silos. The terrorist group lost swathes of territory in recent months to the Syrian government in eastern Deir ez-Zor province that borders Iraq. Turkey wants to open a new border gate with Iraq in cooperation with the central government in Baghdad after it shut down the existing one in response to last week's Kurdish independence referendum. Turkish Prime Minister Ben Ali Yildirim made the proposal of opening a new border gate to Baghdad at Ovakoy, west of Habur Gate, which is currently in use, adding that he expected support from Iraq. He also said that Turkey wants to boost cooperation with the central Iraqi government on economy, defense, security, and political issues. The European Commission said that an international deal to curb Iran's nuclear program struck in 2015 was working, and all sides should stick to their commitments. However, a senior U.S. administration official yesterday said that President Donald Trump is expected to announce soon that he will decertify the landmark agreement. Trump faces an October 15 deadline for certifying that Iran is complying with the deal's terms. A Commission spokeswoman told a news conference in Brussels that the EU executive was closely monitoring all the developments on the deal, adding that it was a durable, long-term solution to the Iranian nuclear issue.
Proliferation deal, which has been endorsed by the UN Security Council, that it's working, delivering, as it has been verified 8 times by the International Agency for Atomic Energy. And so it's a durable, long-term solution to the Iranian nuclear issue, which gives all sides the necessary assurances that they need, and that we expect all sides to stick to their commitments under the current deal. So this is a position which is already well known.
The United Nations said the Nobel Peace Prize awarded to an anti-nuclear weapons group could help a UN treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons, adopted by 122 nations in July. The United Nations said the award would help bolster efforts to get the 55 ratifications by countries for the new UN treaty to come into force. Here's more on the winner of this year's Nobel Peace Prize.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2017 to the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons.
A coalition of grassroots non-government groups winning the 2017 Nobel Peace Prize. The international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, or ICAN, began in Australia and officially launched in Vienna in 2007. It is now made up of groups from around 100 different countries.
The organisation is receiving the award for its work to draw attention to the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of any use of nuclear weapons and for its groundbreaking efforts to achieve a treaty-based prohibition on such weapons.
The committee going on to warn the risk of a nuclear conflict is greater than for a long time. The prize was announced amid nuclear tensions between the United States and North Korea and uncertainty over the fate of the 2015 Iran nuclear arms deal. In July, 122 nations adopted a UN treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons, but nuclear-armed states, including Russia, China, the United States, Britain and France, stayed out of the talks. And the committee says they must be involved in the next steps in order to reach a nuclear-free world. In awarding ICAN with this year's Peace Prize, the committee says it has, more than anyone else in the past year, given the efforts to achieve a world without nuclear weapons a new direction and new vigour.
Tropical storm Nate is strengthening over the northwestern Caribbean Sea, and hurricane and storm surge warnings have been issued for the northern Gulf Coast. By yesterday, Nate killed at least 22 people in Central America as it pummeled the region with heavy rain while heading toward Mexico's Caribbean resorts and the U.S. Gulf Coast. In Nicaragua, at least 11 people died. 7 others reported missing, while thousands had to evacuate their homes because of flooding. The storm could strike as a hurricane this weekend. More than 180,000 comic book and superhero fans descended on New York for Comic-Con 2017, dressed up in their favorite characters. The 4-day event is dedicated to comics, graphic novels, video games, toys, movies and TV, with exhibitors like Marvel and Disney setting up flashy booths showcasing their latest goods. New York Comic Con started in 2006 and has grown to become one of the biggest comic book conventions in North America. In sports, Barcelona captain Andrés Iniesta announced the agreement of a contract for life with the Liga side. In a statement, the club said that Barcelona and Iniesta have reached an agreement to renew his contract for life, which will tie both parties together. The 33-year-old has been at Barcelona since he was 12 years old, making his professional debut in 2002. He is the club's second all-time leading appearance maker behind Xavi Hernandez, playing 633 games and scoring 54 goals. And finally, for a quick look at the weather, a slight rise in temperature is expected tomorrow to remain relatively warm across the kingdom. Amman can expect a high of 27 degrees Celsius, dropping to 18 at night, with northwesterly moderate winds. Further south, the Gulf of Aqaba can expect hot conditions, with mercury levels at 34 degrees, slipping to 26 at night, while winds will be northerly moderate and the seas calm. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good night.